Welcome friends, I'm Luxindamark, and this is Vendetta Online. Today I will show you how to set up droid buttons for your mobile edition of Vendetta Online. First off, let's make sure Droid Buttons is actually installed. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Droid Buttons is a system used for adding to or replacing the in-flight interface. First of all, if you have it installed correctly, you should see two buttons over here on the side of your screen. Those aren't there normally. If they aren't there, they might be somewhere else, maybe. In which case, go over to your chat interface and simply type in /db. Now you notice I have to open up that chat. I disabled the chat just to keep me from being distracted during the video. Anyways, when you type DB or you press on the DB button, that's to open up the Droid Buttons interface. This is where you can create or replace your interface. By default, you should see a DB and reload button. DB is obviously for accessing Droid Buttons interface, whereas reload is used for reloading all the plugins you have. It's pretty useful for when one's not working appropriately. First off, one of the first things we want to do is actually turn off the standard interface. While some pilots find it nice, I consider it a bit of a hassle and prefer to replace it completely. To do that, go over to Options, and then go over to Advanced. Now, by default, you can't do anything about it right away. You have to click on this lock icon. That allows you to remove the default interface. And as this warning tells you, do not contact Guild Software for problems. This is a plugin. Plugins aren't officially supported by the developers, even though they allow it to be made. So, do you wish to proceed? Yeah, we do. Want to hit save. Anytime you do anything, you want to hit save. Alright, first let's go over how to create a button. Down here you see Add, Copy, and Delete. We want to add a new button, and it's already been selected as a button type for us. The title is what the name of the button will be. This is also what appears on the button's face. As such, let's say we want to create a button for firing a weapon. We can call it fire, or shoot, or whatever. We'll just go with that. Now, to actually make it do something, you have to give it a command. For example, under short press, this is what you'll mainly be using. Short press is the command that happens when you press on a button. Long press, on the other hand, only occurs after short press has been activated and you're still pressing on the button. If you only have one command registered to a button, you will only need to register the short press command. Now, you can either manually type in the commands. It is to the effect the same as typing, say, /+shoot2. However, in Droid Buttons, it automatically adds the slash for you, so make sure you get rid of it. That being said, a lot of people don't know all the commands that are in Vendetta Online by default. That is what the drop-down menu is for. It allows you to select from the command that you want to add to that button. /+shoot2. Make sure you save it. And now you want to place it somewhere. So use the touch to place option. Oh, whoopsie. Close that. And now you can move it around the screen. You place it, find somewhere you want to put it. I think I usually put it right around there. Usually I create the input pads first, but whatever. And then you want to hit the save button up here. And then re-hit save down here. Placement of your buttons should feel natural to you. As such, placement of your button will depend on the device you're actually using. Make sure it's comfortable to reach that button if you're going to be using that button very often. You can also change the size of the button itself, as well as the font size, in case you need to display a really long title and don't have enough space for it. Though I consider the 41-point font fine as is. Now, suppose you wanted to create a field instead. Fields are used by selecting the field button up here, the radio selection option. And this is for when you want to do sort of like a joystick type input. Now, you can name it whatever. This will only be for recognizing it within the Droid Buttons interface, and doesn't actually affect the field itself. So let's make one for turning the ship. Unlike before, these are only allowed to use drop-down menus, since there are only so many analog commands. The x-axis is the horizontal axis, so let's give that turn. And the y-axis, you want to have pitch. That controls the up and down motion of your ship. Make sure you save, and then try placing it somewhere. You'll notice a new circle has appeared. Excuse me. Put it somewhere you like. I think, let's see. I think I like it on this side. Make sure you hit save both of times. You might wish to increase the size again. Now, the thing about doing fields is they aren't always by default facing the correct direction. Pressing up and we're going down. Pressing left and we're going right. I'm not entirely sure what if it's the same between devices, so make sure you exit DB and find out for yourself. Now you have options to invert them. This allows you to basically flip the input settings. You'll also see mouse look X and Y. Never use those. Mouse look does not work on Android. Just stop. Don't do it. You may also wish to use relative and nonlinear. These options control the adjustments of how the input scales. If you find that it's too sensitive or not sensitive enough, try switching between these options to see which one suits you best. Play around with Droid Buttons itself to figure out what you think is best for you. Many people use lots of buttons into a full filled up screen that is different from every other pilot's. There is no one good setup. There's merely simply a setup that suits you best.